What's up, guys? Mike here. I was gonna try to make a real quick video while I'm in the car here, and I would like it to be a quicker video because I think the 20-minute videos are just a little too long. It's too long to listen to me ramble on, you know. But today I thought I would give you where I'm currently at with like what I believe about who we are, where we come from, that kind of stuff. I wouldn't recall it really religious, just this is a theory. So this is my theory of you know, where we come from, who we are. So let's get into it. I'll try to make it as fast as possible. So two things we got to get out of the way. One is the size of the universe. Okay, the universe is unimaginably humongous. Like unimaginably humongous. Okay. If you look at, there's the Voyager spacecraft. It was launched in like the 70s, I think. And it just left our solar system like not long ago. I mean, think about how many years that is, right? And then you take that and you look at the measurements in space, and I mean, it's just, it's humongous on like an epic scale. I encourage you to look into it. Anyway, the reason that's important is because people generally take one of two one of two ways of approaching this, and one is that we're completely insignificant, and that, you know, when you look at the vastness of space, it's just that, you know, our little planet here, Earth, and our lives and everything, it's we're just absolutely insignificant, and it's almost terrifying a little bit when you look at the vastness of it. But the other side would say that actually that we're special, because nowhere else that we can see has life, certainly not like what we have here. So I tend to take this second point of view, but I might take it a little bit farther in the sense that I believe remember my video on belief versus knowing? These are all beliefs, right? This is theories. I believe that we are extremely significant in the sense of like, say, you know, if a diamond is rare, right? Like we don't know how rare diamonds is. There's a whole conspiracy theory around that, but just think about the rarity of a diamond, or at least the way that we used to think about the rarity of a diamond, right? And how special and significant that makes it is because it's so rare that it makes it special. But even on top of that, I actually think that we are one of many focal points of the universe where everything sort of converges in one spot to create what we have here. I mean, to me, it's a mathematical certainty that we would be here. But it's also a mathematical certainty that if the universe is infinite, then there would be other places like this in the universe. Okay, and I think that it's a mathematical certainty that there would be just focal places in the universe where everything sort of comes together in a spot to create what we have here. Okay, so I believe that we're very special and very unique, and rare, but it makes us special. It makes this place special. All right, now we've got that taken care of. Now let's switch to a different thing. We humans, just take us, our human example, we see the way that our eye works, it works on the visible light spectrum. So there is a small sort of spectrum of light, the rainbow, white light, that we can see. Okay? And it's a very small sliver of the entire sort of radiation spectrum. So you've got you've got things that we can't see, like X-rays and gamma rays and alpha waves and rays and radio waves and Wi-Fi waves and thermal and all these other things. Now, some animals have adapted to be able to see differently than we can. So like a snake, for example, you see how my sunglasses look crooked? They look crooked, but I don't think it's because of the sunglasses, because these are fairly new. I think it's because, one of two things. Either my ears are crooked, or one of my ears is jacked up from jiu-jitsu, and I actually think that's what it is. I think this ear on this side is a little jacked up from training jiu-jitsu. It's not like visibly, what do you call it? Like calloused, or what's the ear? It's cauliflower eared. But it's like, if you feel of it, it feels like hard. Anyway, I think my ear's fucked up. That's why my glasses look like this. But I don't care. I'm just telling you. But so we can only see like a small portion, right? And there's animals that can see. Snakes can see like almost like in thermal. There's other animals that can see in thermal. Dogs even can sense heat. That's why your dog always steals your seat when you get up off the couch, things like that. So we know that there's other animals out here that see a different world than we do. Okay, we only see what we see because that's all that we've adapted to be able to see. So there's an entire unseen realm. It's not even a realm, it's just reality. So there is all around you all the time is stuff going on that you can't see, that you doesn't even register. Like, you can't see it, you can't hear it, you can't feel it. It's all over us all the time, and not only on this planet, but also out in space. There's radio waves floating around all over in space, and there's cosmic radiation, and there's all this crazy stuff that's out in space that we can't see without specialized instruments. Sorry, we can't see them with our eyes. So we're sort of living almost in a place where, like, our experience is so limited, and we have a very small amount of reality that we can actually interact with. Okay? Now, the third thing that we got to take into account. We have something inside of us that we are barely in touch with and can barely account for, but we know that it's there. Okay? So that's I guess the most common way of looking at it is your consciousness. Like, that's your consciousness. But what I like to refer to it as is it's you. It's the you. It's the you that's in there, that's kind of like not you. It's you, but it's not you. It's like the I, the capital I don't, but it's in there, and you can get in touch with it. You can get in touch with it pretty much at any time. It's probably the easiest if you meditate or something like that, or you just sit quietly for a while and think about it. But there's a part of you, the I, that is in there. Okay, and it's there. It's in everybody. You can find it in yourself, and you can't really quite put your finger on it. It's in there, in your mind. Well, I don't know if it's in your mind. It seems like it's in your brain, but you can't really ever find it. You can't put your finger on it. You really don't know what it is. Science doesn't know what it is. Science has been, trying to figure out, consciousness for a long time. And they're no closer to figuring it out than when they first began. That's how mysterious this thing is. But we all know that it's there. It's crazy, right? It's like the stuff around us that we can't see. We know it's there, but we can't really pin it down. But when you do try to pin it down, I'm sorry if this gets loud, I'm getting on the highway, but when you do try to pin it down, it seems like whatever that part of you is, isn't so attached to this body that when your body dies, it ceases to exist. It really, really seems like that thing that you have inside of you will always be. And even if you dig a little deeper, it almost feels like it's always been. And think about that. Really try to pin it down. It feels like that it's always been and it always will be, no matter what happens to this physical flesh body. Now, I'm not trying to be all weird and spiritual on you. This seems to be like a scientific fact from what I can sort of figure out. I mean, I'm just giving you science basically, and saying, whoa, like there's some weird shit. There's some weird shit. The universe is so huge, and if you look at it mathematically, scientifically, there's a convergence here of everything that springs forth this sort of life. And then there's the fact that we don't interact with the majority of experience and things going around us all the time, and that there's part of us in there that we don't really know what is. Dude, this is wild, okay? And so I think like there's you know, there's a saying like every lie has a little bit of truth in it, or every conspiracy has got a little bit of truth in it. And I think that's true too, even with like the Bible, or with probably the Quran, or with you know, Eastern mysticism, things like that, that there's a little bit of truth in those things. And I think John, well, whoever wrote the Gospel of John in the Bible, I think that he's onto something when he says that God is light, and that light is the light of men. I think, this is what I think, I believe, that it has something to do with light. And when I say light, I don't necessarily mean white light. I mean that the radiation, the stuff around us that we can't see, there's something, I feel like there's something there. There's something in the light, because the light, we know that radiation permeates everything. Like it permeates through things. There's something with the light, that God is the light, and that light is the light of men. There's a light. When the sperm and egg meet, when they fertilize or whatever it is they do, they emit, there's light that's emitted. There's light. There's something with the light. There's something with the light. And I think that maybe your consciousness, or whatever you want to call it, rides on the light, or it rides on the radiation, or that's the level of where it is. It's there, but you can't quite pin it down. It's known, but it's unknown. And there's something with that. There's something with it that I don't think that science can necessarily prove. I can't prove it, but there's something there. There's an unknown thing that's there that seems to sort of go along with, or at least sort of be connected to the other things that are there that we don't know about. And I think that's the you. And I think that that's you, and that's God. We are made, of course, the Bible says that we are made in the image of God, and what that means is that you are like God, in the sense of like you're like, give it whatever name you want, the creator, the universe, whatever it is. The stuff that makes up the universe is also the same stuff that makes up you, including the things that you can't see or touch or really pin down, like your own consciousness. There's something there. There's something there. And when you really think about it, it seems like that thing will always be. So maybe you won't be in this physical body, but maybe, you know, I have this isn't anything that's provable at all, but I think that if there are, mathematically speaking, other Earths or other places where the universe, like focal points of the universe, right, that maybe your consciousness or whatever it is that makes up you pops out of this one when it's done with this flesh body, pops out of this one and it goes to another focal point in the universe, and then it's there and it lives out an experience there. I don't know, can't prove it, but it sounds pretty cool. It sounds like that would be okay, right? I just there's too much going on that we don't know about to just say, oh, you die and then there's nothing. It just doesn't seem to be the way that the universe works. The universe seems to work very mysteriously and in the shadows and in the unseen. Something's seeing it. It's not like another realm. I'm not trying to say that's on another realm. It's not another dimension. No, it's around us all the time. It's just reality. It's just we don't perceive it. Anyway, that's my kind of take. Let me know what you think about it. Like I said, I think mathematically it makes sense. I think scientifically it makes sense. I mean, I think it just makes sense. And there's no religion, that's attached to it. My wife said it sounds like, it almost sounds like reincarnation, and it kind of does. But I don't necessarily mean that, you're not a human and then you become a dog or a bird or something. Not like that. It's more like you're this consciousness experiencing this now, and then you will go on to experience maybe something else later. Or maybe you just return to the light. That was my theory before, was, my other theory, I guess you'd say. It said, you came from the light and that you will return to the light, whatever that is. Anyway, video's long enough. Don't want to get it too much longer, but let me know what you think, and yeah, we'll talk again later.